mechanic, soft, soothing English.
Is he British? Yeah, I don't know what his accent is.
Some
He's
sort
got a
of
good
UK
voice.
thing going on. He's got a nice voice.
Yeah,
he's a good talker.
He has a good podcast
Turns
mic.
the female brain off.
Yeah. I was like, he's so reasonable. Cuomo was the governor of New York during COVID.
I mean, his last name is an anagram for ooh, come, which can't be good. BIP-444. Or death. Yeah. So this is a very interesting development, I think you would call it. Sort of more cancerous outgrowth of the Bitcoin filter drama.
And sometimes Mechanic will unblock us just to reply something and then reblock us again so we can't reply to his reply.
The ultimate bitch move. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm extremely excited to bring you an emergency edition of the Hell Money Podcast. Bitcoin drama is at all-time high, and the Bitcoin price is at an all-time low.
Well, not an all-time low.
It feels like an all-time low.
Like 101.
An emotional all-time low of $101,000 per Bitcoin. This is the Hell Money Podcast. I'm Casey Rotamore, joined with Aaron Redwing. Aaron, how's it going? How are the vibes?
It does not feel good.
Yeah.
It does not feel good. We're recording this on election day.
That's right.
So we
New
will
York
know.
election day.
Well, there's also a California election.
Oh.
You just don't vote. So
No, I just don't vote.
You're not civically engaged, so
No.
you wouldn't know these
No,
things.
voting
but
is for chumps. If you vote, you should stop. You should feel bad about voting.
I love voting.
Well, unless you enjoy it. I actually think
That's the one
enjoying
reason.
voting is like the valid reason to vote.
Yeah, I voted. We only got to vote on one thing in California, which was Prop 50. I guess by the time this episode's posted, we'll know if Prop 50 has passed. I think it's supposed to pass. I voted no. Shocker.
No gerrymandering?
No gerrymandering.
What is Prop 50?
So basically Prop 50 is it's redistricting, or it's giving whatever the California State Senate or whoever would have the authority to redistrict. It's giving them the authority to redistrict. And they want to redistrict in a way that just makes us have more Democratic Congress seats. The whole thing is like, oh, Texas is gerrymandering their election, and
so we
because
should
they're
gerrymander them back.
like exactly, because Texas is gerrymandering, so they're going to get all these Republican seats. And if we let Texas gerrymander without gerrymandering ourselves, then like democracy is going to be dead.
Do you know why it's called gerrymandering?
No.
So there was one of the first gerrymanderers. His name was Jerry, I think. And he drew like a congressional district that was so fucked up, it looked like a salamander. And so people called it a gerrymandering.
Oh, mander.
It's the
that sounds like an old wives'
It's the
tale.
Jerry salamander.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Pennsylvania where gerrymandering is like a serious thing. Like the county that I grew up in would be Democrat. Like it's a college town in the middle of nowhere. And so all the college town people vote blue, but then the surrounding area is all red. So like that district should be blue, but they just cut it in half. So it's red. So like my whole life, and Pennsylvania in general, it's a swing state as well. So there's just a lot of like gerrymandering discourse in general. And gerrymandering's always been a bad thing where I come from. But if Texas does it, we have to do it too.
I don't know why we don't just divide the country up into, squares, like equal size squares.
One would think.
Yeah, and that's just how it works, and you just can't gerrymander. I think gerrymandering is the kind of thing that's really frustrating for programmers because we're always like, why don't you just have an algorithm that determines like what the, districts are?
I kind of understand like the idea is, well, if you did it just based on equal distance squares, that's not population representation. And that's kind of the idea with the Senate versus the House, right? Is that like Wyoming gets 2 Senate seats, which is the same number as California,
right?
But California gets way more congressional seats.
Yep.
So I kind of like you could maybe do it based on population, like you divide your population by 50 or whatever, and then you just like whatever. And maybe that is how it's done. And then just where you draw the lines is where you get to, but Prop 50, I mean, our congressional district won't change because we're a solid blue here. But it's basically like the state of Jefferson, like Northern California is just getting like, like they're like taking the top and then they're like, let's just bring it all the way down the coast. Like, so that, like all the libs on the coast like end up like negating all the red voters. And I don't think that I'm pro state of Jefferson in general. I think they should secede from California. Like southern, do you know state of Jefferson?
Yeah, we're in the state of Jefferson, right?
Not really. It's like north. It's further north than us.
Okay.
We're like in the middle of California. We're not even really Northern California.
So true.
So true when you think about it. But like northern, like actual Northern California and Southern Oregon, that's like Hickville, right? So they're always like talking about seceding and becoming like a libertarian super state. I think they should.
I support it.
I would like for them to do it. And I don't like that this is disenfranchising the state of Jefferson.
I think individual cities in California should secede.
Indeed.
I want the free state of Emeryville, California.
Yeah, and then we would go to war with the state of Oakland.
Yep.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do this podcast anymore.
Yeah. From the battle lines, we'd get conscripted.
Yeah.
You know, Erin is like a comfort woman or something.
I'd be a war nurse.
That's right, a
something,
war
you know?
nurse.
I have
Listen, whatever you want to
healing
call it,
touch.
okay?
And like a sexy nurse
Uh-huh,
outfit.
yeah.
And then Zohran Mamdani probably gonna win.
Probably gonna win.
the
Yeah, New York
election.
descent into communism.
Yeah,
It's all
I mean,
over.
basically everyone, not literally everyone I know that lives in New York, because I know a couple, right wing Twitter people who live in New York, but most of my real friends are voting for Zohran.
It's so confusing, man.
Why is it? It's so obvious to me. I feel like I would probably vote for Zohran. It's Cuomo or Zohran. It's not like the alternative is like a based cool guy. There is like a third party like based cool guy.
Yeah, it's just hard. I mean, like the idea that grocery stores are like fucking everybody over when they have like a 2% profit margin.
But everyone's voting for the rent freeze.
The rent freeze is also like, okay, I know, guys, like it's really appealing, the idea that somebody can just say like the law is that the prices are low now, but that doesn't work. You want people to build housing. You want like a strong market signal for people to build housing. You want to get out of people's way to build housing. You don't want to subsidize demand. You don't want to freeze prices. Like, I mean, come on, it's just price controls. They don't work.
Yeah, but nothing works. Like I understand, like if you put someone in there who's just like, hey, I'm running on freezing your rent and providing universal childcare.
I get it.
Like obviously everyone's gonna vote yes in New York because like the rents are too damn high.
The rents are too damn high.
And they're like, can the politicians just turn this off?
Yeah.
So, and like the alternative is Cuomo.
I don't know anything about Cuomo. Except
Cuomo
that,
was the governor of New York during COVID.
I mean, his last name is an anagram for ooh, come, which can't be good.
That's true.
Yeah.
He was kind of like Fauci-fied in the beginning of COVID because he would do, I think, daily updates. And everyone was like, ooh, Daddy Cuomo, like giving my daily updates. And then the whole like nursing home scandal came out. And I think he sexually harassed like 20 women or something.
Oh,
like,
damn.
it was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
So they really are not sending their best.
Yeah.
Like it's like Cuomo.
You can't sexually
or
harass
Mamdani.
more than a score of women.
I think Cuomo maybe, I don't know what the like official term is, but I think he stepped down or he got removed from governor. Like it's like you can't
He's back.
take the
He's
failed
back.
governor.
He's better than ever.
And then the guy Curtis Sliwa.
What was wrong with
is like the one that everyone...
Eric Adams?
I mean, Eric Adams is just like a bumbling buffoon. Like he didn't really do anything.
I mean,
I liked Eric Adams.
He ran the New York City of New York City. You know,
yeah, that's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
I think let New York do communism if that's what they want to do.
It's just not going to turn out well for them.
But let them learn that lesson. Like let them put the communist Nepo baby in charge and let him freeze the rents and let's see what happens. I don't know. I'm very pro accelerationist experimentation. I don't think Zohran's going to be.
But communists never learn the right lesson. Like they always learn like,
they're like, we didn't go far enough.
We didn't go far enough.
Yeah.
Capitalism was like keeping us down for like unclear reasons.
Yeah.
You know, that
but
kind
people
of thing.
genuinely like Zohran. This is the thing that I think I keep seeing from Twitter anons who are.
He's certainly like charismatic and well spoken, which is the problem.
I mean, he's clearly a sociopath in my opinion. Like the way that he talks is like so. He's like, I remember 9/11. Like he does this like weird, but his 9/11 thing is like because he's Muslim,
right?
So he's like they were racist against my mom after 9/11.
Yeah,
in New York, you know, it's like this is whatever. Anyway, so I just think like if you give people things like if you run on a platform of like I'm gonna give everyone free healthcare, like you will win.
Yeah,
and I feel like the Democrats, even if I don't necessarily want them to learn that lesson in the sense that I don't want the Democrats to keep winning, or they're not really winning, but you know what I mean. I think that would be a valuable lesson for them to learn. That if they just go for populist things, they will have a better shot.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Zohran's probably going to win, and we'll see what happens to New York. But New York's interesting, you know. Let them try.
Yeah.
So that's that political update.
Yeah. Apologies to our listeners who.
Oh, come on! We're giving good politics, current events. A week late, by the way, because like a week from now it'll be like over.
Yeah. But what will not be over is BIP-444. Or
death.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting development, I think you would call it, sort of more cancerous outgrowth of the Bitcoin filter drama. So what's his name? Like Dalton Ohm Dalton?
Yeah, something Datham,
whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah, so Ananon opened a pull request on the Bitcoin BIPs repo to, it's a soft fork to temporarily limit
An emergency soft fork to temporarily limit arbitrary data in the blockchain. It's sort of like a 1 year to flatten the curve kind of thing. So true.
So the idea is that there are many ways to put arbitrary data into a Bitcoin transaction.
Can you define arbitrary data?
Yeah, I can. Arbitrary data is data which is not signatures, not payment amounts that are not things that are directly related to a monetary transaction. In general, this is a way of taking a transaction and then sticking data into it in a way that like does not otherwise affect its meaning. So it's sort of non-monetary data in a Bitcoin transaction.
And that could be inscriptions, but it could also be, in the case of the opportune stuff, more like L2 scaling, whatever shitcoinery stuff that those guys want to do.
All sorts of shitcoinery, all sorts of scaling. There are a bunch of different ways that you can put arbitrary data into a Bitcoin transaction. The two ways that we had pre-Taproot were the script pub keys, which are sort of the spending conditions for a Bitcoin output, and the script signatures, which are the script that satisfies those conditions. Those are sort of the old ways pre-Taproot that you could put data into a Bitcoin transaction, arbitrary data. And script pub keys, that includes opportuns, because opportuns, they go in the script pub key. Inscriptions use Taproot. Taproot adds a new place that you can put arbitrary data in a transaction, which is the witnesses. Witnesses are the Taproot version of script sigs, script signatures, so-called because they are the satisfaction of the spending conditions given in the script pub key. So you have a transaction, the transaction creates outputs. Each output has an amount of Bitcoin and a script pub key. The script pub key says, in order to spend this output and get this amount of Bitcoin, you have to satisfy this script. And the script could have conditions like you've got to have a signature check, you've got to wait some number of blocks, you've got to do some combination of signatures and a multi-sig, et cetera. And then when you want to spend that output, you create a transaction with a script sig, and after Taproot, a witness that satisfies that spending condition. It says, here's a signature signing this transaction, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So a whole bunch of ways to stick data in Bitcoin right now. There's script pub keys, which is usually data is encoded in an opportune. Script sigs, people don't really put arbitrary data in script sigs so much. And there's witnesses, which are inscriptions. And there's more sort of nuance to this because the data in a witness can serve different purposes. So inscriptions use the tap script. They encode it in the tap script, which is this script that you commit to in an output, and then you both reveal the script and satisfy its conditions in the spending transaction. And the tap tree, which is in Taproot, you can have you commit to this like tree of transactions, and each leaf in the tree is a different way that you could spend the transaction. So for example, one leaf could be like me and you have to sign it. Another leaf could be you can sign it after 6 months have passed. Another leaf could be I can sign it after like a year passed, or like some other combination of signatures. And you can also, it turns out, put data into the tap tree, which is part of the witness, but that's another thing. So BIP-444, it proposes to introduce rules that start at some block, I think, in a couple months, in like February of 2026, if I remember correctly, which would limit opportuns by consensus. So not policy, but they would limit these things by consensus. It'd be invalid to include these things in a block. No opportuns above 83 bytes, which is the old policy limit that was in place in Bitcoin before Bitcoin 30. It would limit push data opcodes to some size. I forget what that size is, like 200 bytes. I could be wrong. It would also limit tap trees to no more than 8 depth, I think. And it would limit no op-if could appear in witness scripts. So that would be no inscriptions. So basically it tries to close all of these holes for arbitrary data in a Bitcoin transaction.
And I'm confused. Okay, so the reason that BIP-444 was proposed was because of V30, right? Bitcoin Core V30. But it seems like it's combining two ideas. It's simultaneously angry at Bitcoin Core for the opportune limit increase.
Yep.
And also just angry about the thing that they've been angry about, which is just the spam.
Yeah.
So
they're going to try to.
They're addressing both things with one.
They're trying to get all of
this is like their silver bullet.
Yeah, this is their silver bullet. It's going to kill all the spammers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
That's their idea.
Yeah. Why didn't they put this forward before?
Well, the reason is that I think the reason is that it's going to fail. I'm actually very confused about why they're doing this at all. I think this is going to fail. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I don't think the miners have any interest in running this. I think that there's like a small vocal minority of Twitter people who are like very angry about this. And I don't actually think that those Twitter people are influential at all. Like, I think they're only influential on Bitcoin Twitter. And the only mining pool I think that supports them is Ocean, which is like a very minority hash rate miner.
I think I remember seeing Rob Hamilton tweet that the only miners that have even commented on this was F2 Pool that said they're not going to do it.
Yeah, I think
and that's like 12% of the hash rate or something.
I think the vibe that I've gotten is that miners are no longer interested in being political. Yeah. That there's like huge blowback from the block size 2x things. Miners don't want to like take a side. It's not really clear why miners would run this. Like, this definitely increases fee revenue. So
but they put in the BIP, like, if you don't do this, there will be moral and legal consequences.
There's a lot of,
God will judge you.
There's a lot of that. And then also, this doesn't actually like close all of the ways that you can create invalid, or that you can stuff arbitrary data into a transaction. So for example, you can encode the data in multiple valid looking outputs, which is worse. These are things that look like they're outputs, that look like they have to be tracked in the UTXO set, but they actually carry arbitrary data. You don't need OPIF to encode this data. I could come up with any number of other ways of encoding the data, like in fact, like an infinite number of ways of encoding the data. So I think they like all like ideologically committed to this like anti-data thing, and they tried to sort of get their way by pushing policy changes, by pushing filters, by being very upset about Bitcoin Core v30. And that's clearly like not working. And so now they think that, I don't know if they think that they have enough users and enough like power to do a user activated soft fork of this. But that's what they're going to try. And I'm very confused about whether or not they actually think that this is going to succeed. I think that this is a total non-starter. I don't know why anybody would really sign up for this. It really hobbles Bitcoin in a bad way. So like, I mean, why is this even a bad idea in the first place? Like, why do you want to allow arbitrary data? Well, the one thing is you don't want to have a bunch of like weird rules for transaction non-validity. So for example, if you're constructing some set of spending conditions, you have some policy that you want to implement. These people can sign, this can be provided XYZ, and you're trying to encode this policy into a set of scripts and outputs and whatever that you can put into a transaction. You don't want to be thinking about all these other arbitrary things like, oh, if the spending conditions are over this size, then we can no longer commit to it because it runs into one of these BIP-444 rules.
And this is related to, Luke had some tweet that I've been seeing screenshotted a lot where he says like, well, if you lose your Bitcoin, you lose your Bitcoin. That's on you, bro.
Yeah, they've sort of defined any usage of these features that they're proposing to soft fork out, that if you depend on any of these features, you're sort of a spammer by definition.
Yeah.
And so we like don't care if you lose your coins. This is very much in contrast to the sort of normal Bitcoin developer ethos, which is to be very careful about any form of confiscation whatsoever, even extremely like long tail forms of confiscation that are unlikely, like somebody is pre-committed to a set of signed transactions that would be invalid under a soft fork. Another reason, so this is a bad idea because it adds a lot of weird rules that you can run afoul to. A specific reason BIP-444 would limit the size of a tap tree. I forget how many, the depth of the tap tree that it would allow. I think to like 8. Let's say it limits the depth to 8. So this would allow you to have 256 different spending condition paths in a tap tree, like 256 different scripts that you could reveal to spend an output. And they argue that, like, listen, nobody needs more than 256 scripts. This is probably correct. You probably don't need more than 256 scripts, but the purpose of allowing a deep tap tree is actually to be able to encode the relative probability of revealing one of these scripts. So scripts that are higher in the tap tree, they take less data to reveal that script and spend from it. And scripts that are lower in the tap tree, you have to reveal like more hashes of these like branches in order to get to that lower script in the tap tree. And this is used both to just encode a number of different spending conditions, but also to encode the likelihood. So if you have a very likely branch, a very likely spending condition, you'll probably put that at the top of the tap tree so that you only have to reveal, here's your spending condition, you only have to reveal one sibling hash to spend it, instead of putting it at the bottom of your tap tree and you have to reveal 8 hashes to like get to that bottom of your tap tree. So you want a tall tap tree so that you can have all these different like probabilities of your spending conditions. So you can encode low probability spending conditions. You're okay with having them be deeper in the tap tree. It's not the absolute number of spending conditions. So that's one thing. Total
you're doing
eyes,
great, you know.
eyes,
I'm like
eyes glazing over.
I ain't
but
reading all that, but
yeah,
happy for you. We're
I'm
sorry that
sorry
happened.
for you. Yeah. What else? Another thing is that arbitrary data is really not that bad. Like in terms of computational sense, one is that we have the block size. The block size limits blocks to a particular size. So it's not really the case that the chain grows that much faster.
A maximum amount that the chain can grow has already been set.
Has already been
agreed upon.
Already been agreed upon. And also, arbitrary data is relatively cheaper than other kinds of data to process. For example, checking signatures, creating outputs, spending inputs, etc. These are all things that are more expensive than just arbitrary data, which in general is data in a transaction that Bitcoin sees it and then it just sort of skips it. I was going to get at another one. Oh yeah, and then the other reason is that all of these, it turns out that if you have a system like Bitcoin and you want to do upgrades as soft forks that are compatible with older clients so that older clients don't fall off the network, all of these places for arbitrary data are areas that you can use for a soft fork. It's unlikely, but maybe you would want to put large amounts of data in op push data in order to use in a future soft fork. For example, let's say you wanted to have a quantum resistant soft fork, right? You need to soft fork in a new quantum resistant signature scheme to Bitcoin. Quantum resistant signature schemes often have very large public keys or very large signatures, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes in the order of like multiple kilobytes. So you might need to use large push datas in order to encode a large quantum signature. And under this BIP, you would not be able to put large push datas in your transaction because it would be illegal under these BIPs. So in general, every single place in a transaction where you can put arbitrary data is a potential place that you can use to implement a new soft fork by adding rules to that arbitrary data, because old nodes will just see that new arbitrary data and ignore it, and upgraded nodes will interpret that arbitrary data according to the rules of the new soft fork.
Okay. You lost me at the end.
Right. So what is a soft fork? So a soft fork is a tightening of the rules of Bitcoin. And why we care about that is
right, intrinsically, because the reason why it's forking off is because they're no longer compatible with the original.
Well, it's not sort of.
What do you mean? Like when you say that it's tightening the rules, like couldn't it also be a soft? Why could it not be a soft fork that loosens the rules?
Because then new transactions
would be valid still.
You would have
the soft fork.
You would have
like
new.
Whatever.
Well, this would be a hard fork because you would have a new transaction that was valid under this new fork that, because it was loosening the rules, would be invalid according to the other nodes. It would be breaking the rules that those nodes expected to see in transactions in blocks.
Yeah, Mechanic kind of made an argument about this in his video that he posted that I watched, which was actually my first time seeing Mechanic speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you this before we were filming. I was watching that video and I was overcome with the existential anxiety of like, I could have been pleb slop in another life. Like if I just didn't know you, if I didn't end up on the right side of history, I could have been pleb
soft, soothing English.
Is he British? Yeah, I don't know what his accent is.
Some
He's
sort
got a
of
good
UK
voice.
thing going on. He's got a nice voice.
Yeah,
he's a good talker.
He has a good podcast.
Turns
mic.
the female brain off.
Yeah. I was like, he's so reasonable. But one of the things that he was saying that I thought was really interesting was he was reframing essentially like a 51% attack as being like, no, but you can win with 10%.
That's right.
And his reasoning for this was, and correct me or clarify where I get things wrong, was that because their soft fork, the BIP-444 soft fork, would be more restrictive of what would be allowed, you don't want to risk being a miner on the other chain, because then if the other side wins, you're fucked.
Right.
Which I thought was like a really interesting kind of like mind bending propaganda.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it was like trying to say like, well, we will get to majority because even if we're the minority, they'll be too scared about being the minority, even though they're not, that they'll have to jump ship to us. And that's kind of like seems to be his game theory of why he thinks BIP-444 will work.
Right. So this is so just to describe what this is in abstract, it's let's say that you have a soft fork and this soft fork is going to make certain transactions that were valid under the old pre-fork rules invalid. And let's say you have a miner that has, let's say the network is 50-50 hash rate wise, one on this old fork and one on this new fork. So the risk to people on the non-soft fork enforcing side is that the blocks they mine are only valid to them. The other 50% of the network will not start building on those blocks because in the case of BIP-444, for example, they have a 100 kilobyte op return, right? So they're creating blocks that under no circumstances are valid for the soft fork side of the hash rate split. The soft fork side of the hash rate split, because the blocks that they're mining are valid on both sides of the fork, if they overtake the other side of the fork will reorg and start building on top of the soft forks side of the fork. So this creates a sort of dilemma for the side of the fork that is not soft forking, that maybe they want to join the soft fork side of the fork because, there's a chance that they could get overtaken and all these blocks that they've found on this side will no longer exist and they'll lose all of these mining rewards that they had on the fork side, on the pre-fork side. This is a correct argument. It ignores two important points. One is that if there's like a 90-10 split and the 90% side has made it, some number of blocks ahead of the 10% side, the chance that the 10% side is ever going to catch up gets lower and lower and lower. Yes, hypothetically, the 10% side could get exceedingly lucky and find a block a minute for, thousands of blocks or hundreds of blocks or whatever. But the actual probability is that they won't. That creates pressure for people on the soft fork side, for miners on the soft fork side, to defect to the other side, to go, yes, the other side, we could hypothetically catch up to the other side, but it's looking increasingly likely like we won't. All these blocks that we're finding on the soft fork side are not going to be respected in this longest chain. We are going to jump ship. The other thing that it ignores is the possibility of the non-soft fork side reacting to the possibility of a wipeout, which is what they could do is they could say, okay, we're going to introduce a new rule on our side, which is that, the first block after the soft fork, which was invalid according to the soft fork, we are only going to consider blocks that are built on top of that side of the split. They could make a rule in their code, we are going to commit to this side of the split. At that point, none of the blocks that are being found on the soft fork side are valid on the sort of old new side. And that risk is over. is sort of like dealt with. So it ignores the fact that, yes, it's true that you could get really lucky, but that requires you to have, close to the amount of hash rate on both sides, and that the other side would probably just react and make sure that they would not follow your split under any circumstances.
The other thing that mechanics sort of envisioned in this Great War moment was that, and he made several points to say, like, I don't want this to happen. God willing, this will not happen.
Mhm.
But he was saying like that the Knots people will flood the original chain with child pornography.
Or maybe have not child pornography, but some other kind of like objectionable
he
content.
said that they had, I guess, inscribed, I assume. I don't know.
Or in an opportune, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know where they put it, but he brought up that someone had made AI deepfake porn of the Bitcoin core devs.
Yeah, apparently.
Which I'm like,
yeah.
I haven't heard of this.
Yeah.
Did you know about this?
I think I did, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know about. You think you did? You made it.
Right.
I was like, what is the AI slop? But he was basically saying like, please don't do this, guys. Guys, don't do this. And I know by saying this, you're going to do this, but just please don't do it, guys.
Yeah.
Is that the pressure will also build because the normal chain that's allowing all of this arbitrary data will become flooded with very bad arbitrary content. And so the miners will also be like, no, we can't be mining this. We have to go to the other soft fork side.
Yep.
So like a combination of moral as well as game theory situation will allow for a 51% to become like an 8% attack and win.
Right.
That was kind of the scenario. And when you asked earlier, do you think, like, do these people really think that they'll win? I think judging by his video, he genuinely believes this.
Yeah. It's
like he really does think this is what's going to happen.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. Like I usually take people at their word. And if they say that they think they're going to win, I'm like, okay, I guess I think they're going to win. This just seems so like outlandish. Like the idea that you could get like all these miners they're going to run Knots. Seriously? They're going to run Luke Jr.'s like shitty ass, like barely maintained fucking fork of Bitcoin Core.
He's imagining 4 mega after 4 mega after 4 mega of the most
depraved
vile,
depraved
you could imagine.
Exactly, yeah.
Please don't send this stuff, guys.
Please don't do it.
Like, it's just, that's the world he's imagining.
Yeah, so it's just very confusing to me. Like, I mean, the miners aren't interested in this. There are no like serious Bitcoin developers who like are interested in this.
Well, he brings up the fact that he spoke on stage and got a lot of applause as evidence that this will work.
At like a fucking pleb,
it's a pleb,
random pleb,
like a pleb conference. He was like, he was like, these people, they think we don't have the power, but I got on stage and people were applauding me a lot.
I mean,
so I think we got it.
Some like selection effect going on here, and these are also the people at the conference who were stoked to sit for like an hour and listen to Bitcoin Mechanic, right? Yeah. So I guess they think that they're gonna win.
I think they think they're gonna win.
It's very strange, and it also it feels like a very, I guess, good that they've sort of crossed this Rubicon and they've set this like line in the sand.
I agree.
Because it seems like there's no way that they get out of this without, to some extent, discrediting themselves.
Yeah.
Without showing that, listen, like they just don't have the support among anybody who actually matters. That they're this like small, angry Twitter contingent.
They're forcing a reality check.
Yeah.
Which is good, I think.
Yeah. I'm guessing that this has led to a lot of people who used to be roughly aligned with them to no longer be aligned with them. Right?
Yeah,
people
who were kind of like, I don't like ordinals and inscriptions.
I don't like ordinals and inscriptions. I don't like shitcoining. And then like, you're going to fork? Like you're proposing like a soft fork? Like what are you guys doing? So there's got to be some of that. It's just deeply confusing to me. It seems, I mean, it's good to remember like Luke is a fundamentalist. He's a fundamentalist of fundamentalists. Like that is his role. And I think that, fundamentalist people, they sort of lose track of reality. They forget that, their ideology is not what actually, determines reality. And so then they get confused and they do crazy shit like.
Yeah, I think also when you get to be the main character of something and you get to be the savior through your own narrative, it can be very intoxicating, right? And so it's like, it's much less appealing. Yeah, like it's like, why would they then be like, nah, we don't really have the support? It's like, they're like, people want it. They're cheering for me. They really want it.
And there's an evaporative cooling effect, which is like, as you get crazier and you keep going, the people who are sticking around are more crazy, cult-like devoted people. Yeah. So the feedback that Luke and Mechanic are getting has probably reached a fever pitch crescendo of the faithful calling for a holy war.
Totally. I mean, and also even just yeah, watching Mechanic's video, as I said, he's well spoken. He does a good job, I think, of representing himself as a reasonable person who is trying to encourage dialogue on all sides. The only reason why I know that that's not true is because, I mean, he specifically says, like, I only block people when they've harassed me or sent me death threats or whatever. He has me blocked, and I've never engaged with him.
I don't think that I've engaged with Mechanic at all either.
I definitely have never, I've never replied to Luke. I've never replied to Mechanic. Similarly, Yakumo Zuko has me blocked, never talked to him. All of these guys have me blocked. And sometimes Mechanic will unblock us just to reply something and then reblock us again so we can't reply to his reply.
The ultimate bitch move. I think that there should be...
Which is crazy, but that is like...
There should be a time limit.
Chamber.
If you unblock somebody...
It's got to be a week.
It's got to be a week.
It's like you changing your like, at on Twitter or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You need like a cooling off period.
It is really crazy because it's like... but I wouldn't, if I was just a pleb watching Mechanic's video and he was telling me, hey, I've never, you know, I only block people when they harass me and I encourage this type of discourse. Like, why wouldn't you believe him? Right. But it's not true. It's just interesting. Like, I don't know, to the point of like, do they believe, I think they believe that what they're doing will work. But I also think that they've carefully curated a bubble around themselves for, at this point, years. Yeah. And I think they just, it's intoxicating and they don't know what's going on outside of their own bubble. I'm actually not sure, like, you know, whenever you see the screenshots or whatever on Twitter of how many knots nodes are running, I've seen 20%, I think is like the maximum that I've seen. But then I've also seen people be like, no, those are spoofed, those are fake.
Right.
Do you have any sense, like, what is the reality there or how one would even figure out the reality?
Not really. It's very hard because when people run nodes as a form of protest, those nodes kind of don't really matter that much.
And he does sort of address that in the video. Mechanic does say something like, you know, it's great that we have all this pleb support, but we don't have the institutional support, which is not so great. Like, he does sort of cop to the fact that those nodes are not necessarily super politically powerful or whatever, whatever you want to call them.
I think probably the best way to gauge the success of knots is to gauge the rollout of Bitcoin Core 30, right? Because those are people who run Bitcoin Core 30. They're probably running it because they like don't really care about this.
Yeah, they're just updating, but they're like, oh, it's a software update.
They're just updating. Yeah, and as far as I can tell, Bitcoin 30 is rolling out like at a sort of normal pace. Like I don't know if it's particularly fast or particularly slow, but I think it's up to like 10% of the network, which is kind of like what you would expect. Yeah. So.
But you could also say, oh, only 10% support Bitcoin. You know, you can kind of manipulate these figures to be whatever you need them to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's why I think it's good they're forcing a reality check. I'm happy to see it.
Rob Hamilton has been pushing a sort of interesting idea, which is trying to get people to put their money where their mouth is.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
So he wants to construct transactions in such a way that they lock Bitcoin for like, let's say 6 months until after the proposed activation date of the soft fork. And like you, the filter supporting Knots Tard would like put 1 Bitcoin. And I believe the way that it works is that in 6 months, I have like a 1 month period where I can get, we both put in 1 Bitcoin. In 6 months, I have, let's say, a 1 month period where I can get both Bitcoins, but only if I reveal let's say a 512 byte data push in the spend, which would be illegal under the fork side. And whatever, 7 months from now, so after my 1 month period where I can get my coins out, you can get your coins out unconditionally. This is basically a way of betting on whether the fork will happen. Like, put your money where your mouth is.
I like it.
I'm very tempted by this.
Yeah.
I'm very tempted by this.
You should do it. You should get in there.
They did this back.
But I don't know if anyone would actually do it with you. That's the thing.
Yeah. It's they did this actually during the SegWit 2x split, the block size wars, where you could buy like futures. I forget if it was on like Binance or some other centralized exchange, but you could buy futures where you could buy. Basically, what you would do is you would deposit 1 Bitcoin and you would get 1 Bitcoin of the SegWit side and 1 Bitcoin of the SegWit 2x side. And then you could express your view by selling the Bitcoin on the side that you didn't think was going to like make it. And then after the split, you would get Bitcoin on, you could withdraw your Bitcoin on like one side, the one that you thought was valuable. And I feel kind of dumb that I didn't like do this. You know what I mean?
Do it
Like,
this time.
yeah, it's just like, got to sign a bunch of like weird, scary transactions.
Just do it with
like,
a small amount. You don't have to do it with a whole Bitcoin. Just do it with like 0.1.
Yeah, but I mean, like, sack up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you should sack up and do it with a whole Bitcoin.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's easy money. I mean, the thing is, you just with Rob's model, you would have to have someone on the other side, right?
Yeah, you have
like
to
you
bet
would need
with
someone
somebody.
to match you,
Yep.
and then you're like
Yep.
betting against each other.
Yep.
Yeah, square up, bro.
But also, I mean, I think it's I appreciate this idea, but I also think that if you're on the fork side, you might want to do this fork, think that it's a good idea, and still think that it has a low chance of success.
Sure.
I think that's a
That's what I'm
totally
saying. Yeah.
I think that's a totally
I think there's
consistent
very few
position.
people that would actually take it up on that bet, even if they want it to happen.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't think it necessarily exposes the exposes anything about the not side if they don't want to take this
If they
bet.
don't think it, if they're not willing to bet on its success.
Yeah, if they're hey, listen, I want this fork to happen. I do think that it only has like a 10% chance of success. So I would need 10 to 1 odds.
But I think ocean mining could really prove a point by doing it, though.
They certainly
You know,
could.
like if you're going to be driving this forward, then I would think you would want to put some money on the line to show, like, hey, I'm really committed.
Yeah.
Mechanic, take us up.
Yeah,
on the
sack
one
up,
Bitcoin
Mechanic.
bet. I mean, he did actually make one point that I agreed with, although I could be talked out of it because clearly I'm
just totally
psychologically malleable.
head empty. Yeah.
Is he made the point that the devs, he kind of says like the Bitcoin core devs, but I think it's sort of just like the larger like nerd dev Bitcoin community.
Mm-hmm.
They want to tinker and develop Bitcoin when Bitcoin should just be maintained. That's kind of the point that he makes. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I kind of understand what he's saying.
I thought it was really funny. He said like, oh, these devs that are just totally out of touch with the normal people. It's really like a populist revolt.
No, it's awesome.
These out of touch devs, they just want to tinker.
He did it beautifully
with their like, ivory tower, their like crazy Rube Goldberg.
They're trying to do their great script restoration, their OPSI TV. They don't know what the plebs want.
Yep.
But this is kind of a point we've made before in a different way on How Money, which is like that there is VC and dev fit for many things that have no user fit, right? Where there are plenty of devs that many of them left at this point and have gone to Ethereum and other chains that want to tinker with Bitcoin, and they are not able to tinker because they're not like politically viable or like people don't want it. And so they go somewhere where tinkering is more socially acceptable. And like, I think that's a fair point. And I think that's also why he gets so much support. Like from the pleb side, I can kind of understand like, yeah, they don't care about like the token trading or whatever fucking bullshit that these like devs want to like build a company to do. They don't care about Citria.
I think they're also pretty hostile to a lot of things that scale Bitcoin's monetary use if they do it in the wrong way, right? Like BitVM, you can do shitcoining on it, but it's also a way to do, to move some monetary transactions.
Well, scaling doesn't really feel that existential when you have subsat per VByte blocks. Right? Like it just, that argument feels a little bit empty. When the blocks are empty. So I can kind of understand that perspective of like, these devs want to tinker. We don't want them to tinker. We want them to maintain. And he kind of makes the point that, the Bitcoin core devs are complaining that it's boring. And like, yeah, it's like, I can see, like, I think that's actually a pretty accurate assessment of the vibe. I think, and I can kind of see how, the sort of hard money gold bug types would be sympathetic to that as well, right? Like the Natalie Brunel, Stefan Livera kind of contingency of Bitcoin culture, which I think these are people that they've lost over the last year or so.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
but I think that's why they were sympathetic to that side initially.
Yeah,
right?
just to take Stefan Livera, like I think Stefan Livera has largely come to the correct conclusion, which is that this is all the shit coining and stuff that people do is like bullshit. But like, who cares? Like, and the caring a lot about it, introducing a lot of weird, complicated rules is like not worth it. The cure is worse than the, ailment.
Right. I mean, yeah. The problem with Mechanic's argument is that they are tinkering by trying to prevent tinkering. Right. Like
this
is
crazy tinkering. I mean, BIP-444 is like incredibly wide sweeping. It just adds all these fucking rules. There are ways that they have. A lot of people pointed out that there are ways that this could be confiscatory. Essentially, that there may exist coins right now that the only way that they can be spent is with transactions that violate the rules of BIP-444. So the author of BIP-444, it appears, has gone back to the drawing board to come up with a new version of BIP-444 that basically the way that it works is it says coins that exist now in the UTXO set will be exempted from these rules, and only new coins will have to follow these rules.
Oh.
So if you have a coin now that's like sitting in your wallet, the transaction that spends it does not have to follow the BIP-444 rules. But then if you create new coins out of that transaction, those new coins do have to follow.
So you get one opportunity, you get one screw up.
Yep. But it is yeah, you get one little oopsie daisy boo boo.
I love that. My other edit would be BIP-888. Okay, if you're gonna go back to the drawing board on BIP-444,
wait, let me just
redo it.
The funny thing about this like old coins, new coins things is that it kind of creates this funny like market for coins that you can shitcoin.
Yeah, you get one. You get one shot.
Yeah, but there's like millions of 800 million coins in the UTXO set or something. I don't know what that number is. But like it's like those are coins that you could make old school inscriptions with, right? Yeah. That you get like one shot to like make an inscription with your old coins.
I think that's awesome. Honestly, I like that. I would support a bit for.
So they're gonna come back to the drawing board.
It's like the purge. You know,
yeah, right.
You get like one. It's one
crime
night a
is
year.
legal.
Crime is legal, but only for that one transaction. You better make it good.
Yeah. But yeah, like you were saying, the numerology of BIP-444 is really off,
guys.
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Have you heard of a little place they call China? All right, and Japan.
That's like 25% of the hash rate.
Yeah.
Does Japan care about 444?
They do. Yeah, it's a general thing in East Asian culture.
Oh, come on, guys.
China, Japan. Places that are influenced by China. I don't know about like Vietnam, but Vietnam, like, you know, countries like Vietnam have a lot of Chinese people in them. So I don't know if it's really part of the Vietnamese culture or just like Chinese people in Vietnam. But yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I brought this up on
and like these like Asians, like they care about this shit a lot.
They care a lot. I don't think people realize how much
you don't have
they
like
care.
buildings with the floor 4, right? If you get
telephone numbers,
you don't get phone numbers
with
with the number 4. Like domain names like 8.com or 8.cn, like they traded for like millions and millions of dollars. Like they're fucking cooking. All right. We're over here. We've totally ignored the numerology superstition branch of the tech tree. And they're going for it.
They've spent centuries.
They've spent
millennia.
And they're still going. So like you can't just ignore this.
No, and I made this point on Twitter about like, why would you call it 444? Like that's crazy. And obviously people assume based on my reputation that that's me like spiritually endorsing or non-endorsing 444. I want to clarify 444 in the Western canon is okay.
Okay, what is it? What's
444 in Western numerology, like angel number canon, is like protection. Like I actually like 444. Whenever it's like 444
is 444 different from 444?
Yes.
What's 44?
Oh, like angel numbers are 3 repeating.
I see. Okay.
So like I don't know. Actually, like I'm not super sure with like individual numbers what the meaning of 4 is, but 444, that repeating pattern is like a divine protection thing. Like whenever you see 444, it's like, okay, I'm good. Like I don't have to worry too much. It's not like super positive. Like it's not like, oh, great things are coming to you, but it's like, just don't worry. It's okay. Like just hang tight. So whenever I see 4:44 p.m., I'm like, that's nice. I like to see 444. So I enjoy I'm a 444 enjoyer, but China has 25% of the hash rate or something like that, right?
Yep.
I think if you're trying to create a successful soft fork, you should not name it 444. That's nothing to do with
I think this
me.
is just like an oversight, you know. I think
it'll
be rectified.
It's a total oversight, but I tweeted about it and there were so many Knots people that were angry at me and they were like, well, maybe it shows that they're actually very rational and they don't care about these superstitions. And I was like, well, they don't care about the Chinese then.
Yeah.
They don't need China support, apparently. All they need are the plebs on Twitter.
The plebs on Twitter, that's right.
Yeah, so I think go back to the drawing board.
It's interesting.
Luke's giving the BIP numbers away anyway. Just do BIP-888. I think that's my word of advice. I'm giving them free alpha.
Yep.
Rename it BIP-888. I think they're going to have a much better chance of success with that for a soft fork. You can't do BIP death.
No, can't do it.
Not to the China. And that's not about me.
BIP 777, you know?
Oh, BIP 777 is kind of interesting. Yeah. That's a little like more like daring.
They're probably going to give BIP 666 to the ordinals BIP when I eventually
and
get
I'll
a
be
BIP
supportive
number.
of that.
Merch.
Come on, please. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm not even trying to make a statement about the astrology. I have my own thoughts on the astrology of the situation, but it's like just it made me think like, are they being sabotaged by the Chinese? Like it just feels too
No, I think they're just clueless.
So
I
it's
think they're
just
yeah.
happy coincidence.
Well, also it's interesting.
Someone let me know. Like if you know,
yeah, like, comment, and subscribe.
like, comment, and subscribe.
Yep.
Let us know. Like, how did they get the 444? Because like,
well, one thing that strikes
it's a beautiful number. Obviously, it's a striking number. It's like kind of random to get 444 just cause you know, like it feels like if you saw BIP-444 when you were writing it, you'd be like, yeah, you know, like this is like even just a little bit of like,
well, you know, one thing that I think is interesting is that as far as I can tell, there is no Asian contingent that cares about the filters.
Oh no, they don't even know about it.
They don't even know.
They don't even know. When I was at Bitcoin
no
Asia,
traction. They don't give a shit.
No one knew. No one knew.
Yeah.
No one had any idea that there was even this going on. And that's been consistent. Like everyone I've asked that's outside of Bitcoin, like US Bitcoin Twitter world, they don't even know this is happening.
I've been asking other people that I know in like other groups, you know, the high level movers and shakers,
right? The alpha chats that you're in,
the alpha chats, yeah, that you could only dream of being in. Just the alpha dripping from every emoji, and they don't. They're like,
they don't
no,
know.
It's still in containment.
Yeah, I mean, even crypto Twitter doesn't know about it because I sort of am because Ordinal's world leans more towards crypto Twitter. I've seen Ordinal's people tweet things like, guys, did you know that there's a lot of drama going on in Bitcoin land? And people are like, what?
Yeah.
And like when I meet
this
crypto
is not
people,
a good
they're
time.
always like, you guys must be so happy. It must be so great over there. It's not great over here.
Yeah. We don't need this right now. Okay. The price is at 100K. It's in the toilet. Okay. You can get 10 Bitcoin for more than $1 million, which is way too low.
It's not.
We don't need a civil war to drag the price down further. Right.
Well, but maybe if they fork. So this is the other thing I was wondering about. So if you have the fork in like February, whenever it's supposed to be, I assume that would be listed on some exchange, and then I get equal. I get equal Bitcoin, right? So I can sell the fork instantly.
Yeah,
right?
You have to be careful though. Because like if you're not careful, when you attempt to move your fork coins to the exchange to sell, you could also be moving coins on your side.
Shit.
Yeah. So what you would have to do is
someone can make a service though.
Yeah, no, it's actually pretty easy. The easiest thing to do is create a transaction that spends your coins on the non-fork side in a transaction that creates a 100 kilobyte op return. So then that transaction is valid on the non-fork side. It moves your coins. On the forked side, your coins stay where they were. And then once your coins are moved on the non-fork side, on the pre-fork side, then you create a transaction that moves your coins on the forked side, and the coins you're spending no longer exist on the non-fork side.
Okay, someone needs to, I mean, I'm sure someone already has BIP-444.com or whatever, but someone needs to just BIP-444.com, just an exchange that only does the option to sell the BitChrist.
The BitChrist.
Right.
Yeah.
You could do BitChrist.com.
Yeah, well,
I don't know what, you know.
We need a name. Like, I mean, I liked Bitcoin Junior.
Yeah, Bitcoin Junior. It was Bitcoin Cash Junior.
Bitcoin Cash Junior is pretty good.
The Dash Junior.
Yeah, Bitcoin Cash Junior.
I think BitcoinCashJunior.com, the exchange only serves to just instantly convert your forked Bitcoin to pure Bitcoin.
Right.
I think that's a major airdrop liquidity moment for the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, it was so much fun in the SegWit 2x period. Like, I woke up in the middle of the night to dump the SegWit 2x coin like at the Pico top.
Yeah, I'll be clicking.
It was incredible.
I will be clicking.
It was so much fun.
So yeah, someone needs to get on that. That seems like it's doable. You just have to be careful. Like they have to be careful, basically.
Yeah.
Whoever makes this, they have to be a trustworthy dev.
Yeah.
But I think that could be really great but I guess in that case, I'm trying to think like price dynamics. It's like, okay, you do like an airdrop basically to every Bitcoin holder where they can sell and then buy more Bitcoin with that. Does that make price go up? Not does it or no? I'm trying, the macroeconomics here.
It only makes the price go up if the sum of the market caps is greater than the original Bitcoin market cap, which probably it isn't. Probably like any value that the fork coins have comes at the expense of the value of Bitcoin, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the buyer? Like, who's the buyer that's like, give me.
Who's finally.
So maybe it's like a $5 airdrop. You know what I mean?
It's really fun.
I'll take anything.
It's really fun. We're now doing both sides of the hostile fork. Like we did the SegWit, 2x, make the block size bigger side of the fork. And that kind of happened and then failed. And now we're going to do another hostile fork, which is like, let's make things like smaller and more restrictive.
God will continue to test us.
Yeah.
This is the lesson I keep saying.
We can never change the block size. It's over. Like, I don't know what we're going to do if we have a quantum soft fork that requires like 10 kilobyte proofs to spend a Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, we're ossified.
You're ossified. Yeah.
But I'll take the airdrop.
Yep.
And again, I think the reality check is good. I do think that that's kind of the grand finale. Like, how can they keep going after that?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to learn from the shitcoiners, and they're going to have to be pumping their own bags nonstop. They're going to have to be tweeting about BitChrist like multiple times a day.
That's right. Yeah.
Pumping their bag, being like, this is the one true Bitcoin, guys. It's your last chance to buy. It's going to moon soon.
Like Jesus, it appears to be dead, but it's going to be resurrected.
That's so
like
true.
any day now.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, because that's a really good point. They should do that narrative. 3 days? Is that how long Jesus was in the cave?
Yeah. Yep.
What was the 40 days, 40 nights thing?
That was the Moses wandering through the desert.
Oh, a different guy.
Wasn't that 40 years?
No. 40 days, 40 nights. Isn't there something? Did the Buddha also not eat for 40 days and 40 nights or something?
I don't know, man. I don't keep up with this.
Let us
know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know, what religion are you? Why? Tell us your beliefs.
Let us know what your opinion is on 444.
Yeah.
Like, how does it make you feel? You don't have to be. You can come at it from whatever angle. Just let us know, like, what does that evoke in you? Because I look at, like, when you look at 444, how does that make you feel? Not Chinese numeral, not like, oh, what are you told to feel? What do you feel?
I think it's too cute, too twee.
It is very twee.
Yeah, trying to do. I want a boring number. 147.
What's your favorite
318.
angel number? Like a repeating digit, which would be which one speaks to you the most?
Maybe 111.
Yeah. 111 is purity.
Yeah, it's also very narrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like 333 is a classic.
333, I don't really know how to feel about 333.
333 is manifestation.
Okay. Yeah, it's like a blue kind of, pluripotent, the deep sea kind of vibes.
Yeah. 333 is good. 555 is good. 777 is good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think like 888 and 999 are kind of oddballs in the angel number community.
Yeah, 999 is
random.
like, yeah.
444 is also kind of random.
What are you doing with 999?
Yeah, anything above the clock numbers becomes a little sketch, because the nice thing about angel numbers that are less than the clock number is you have 2 times a day when you can see them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, in terms of like your schizophrenic
so
mind
555
activating,
is like the max angel number
for
really.
for being able to just see it on a clock and be like, that's significant.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, pretty interesting that like we've invented a system where people are like, oh my God, that's so significant, and it literally happens twice every day.
Yeah, that's how I feel. But I also I think people are doing a great service whenever they have the address number that's an angel number and then they make it really big.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you're driving by someone's house and it's
Sure.
like 555 and they really go all out, I'm like, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool that you guys are doing that for the community.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What else?
Oh, I think the point that the filter drama has really derailed the upgrades and technical discussion.
Oh yeah, Charlie kind of made this point on Twitter.
Yeah, I think that's kind of true. That it sucks up a lot of bandwidth on like mailing lists, on GitHub, etc. Any discussion of technical upgrades to Bitcoin from now to forever on is going to have somebody being like, arbitrary data, this could be used for scamming.
Yeah. I mean, I think generally speaking, we have this challenge in front of us, whether it's politics,
Mm-hmm.
like Bitcoin, whatever, where if you allow yourself to be just derailed by the anger provoking things, like you will never get anything done.
Yep.
You know? And that's why, bringing it back to Zohran, like Zohran running on like, just freeze my rent.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are like, yeah, I love that.
Yep.
You know, it's like, there's only so much you can evoke rage in people until it's just like everything grinds to a halt. And that feels really good.
And eventually we get the
but it feels bad
Bitcoin
long-term
version of Zohran versus Cuomo.
Who would be the Zohran of Bitcoin? Maybe like Alex Gladstein?
No.
Like one of the HRF guys?
No. The Zohran of Bitcoin have to have somebody who's like, maybe this any like SegWit 2x people are like the Zohran of Bitcoin. Like, listen,
who are the SegWit 2x people?
I don't know, Gavin Andreessen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or is it Gavin Andreessen?
Be like, yeah. Mark Andreessen?
No, that's not
Egghead?
No, not Egghead.
Oh, okay.
No. Gavin Andreessen is the old maintainer of Bitcoin Core.
Oh.
And he got pushed out because he was siding with the big blocker like Craig Wright, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it's like an abundance, you know, we're gonna have infinite abundance, we're gonna have huge blocks, there's going to be great things in these huge blocks,
Right.
you know. The Cuomo is like, listen, we're just sexually harassing the transactions.
Yeah, I know who Cuomo would be, but I'm not going to say it.
Okay. Yeah, let's not go there.
Mechanic made G-Max into the kind of supervillain of his video.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I thought was kind of interesting.
Well, I think it's a G-Max is like a sort of legendary Bitcoin figure. He's
Yeah.
like the legendary shiny Pokemon of Bitcoin. And when the shiny Pokemon shows up, like, you know, you have to listen.
Yeah.
And G-Max is a very like pretty grounded kind of guy, I would say. He doesn't have, his views are like pretty reasonable, and he's pretty like technically informed.
Not like Nick Szabo, who's like rug the spammers.
Nick Szabo is so funny. Like I think Nick Szabo takes the legal concerns very, very seriously. And so he's worried about,
why would he like Bitcoin ever in any case at all then? Do you know, this is the other thing that kind of gets me with all the CSAM stuff is I'm like, what do you think people are using Bitcoin for? Like that argument's already played out, no?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think governments are very unpredictable, and what governments are able to sell to people is very unpredictable. So, you know, I could imagine a world where governments are like, oh my God, there's child porn in the blockchain.
There's child porn on the internet.
Yeah, right. It's
just like,
yeah.
Bitcoin already is unsavory to the normie. You know what I mean?
Unsavory to the normie, yeah.
Like people
Gives
associate
the
it with the Silk
taste.
Road.
Yeah.
Like that is, you know what I mean? Like I just am like people are using Bitcoin to buy like real life child sex slaves probably.
Yeah, probably.
You know? I mean like.
Actually, they probably just use dollars for that. Real talk. Just dirty stack of 20s, you know?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, the unsavory content. I mean, and also like, I thought it was interesting. Mechanic does this in the video. Obviously that was my primary source for material for this episode. But in general, they've been doing this sort of interchangeably where they use the CSAM argument for the op return Citria argument interchangeably. And they act like it's the same argument, which I guess BIP-444 does address both.
What do you mean op return versus Citria?
So like, okay, putting unsavory data in an inscription has nothing to do with increasing the size of the op return in Bitcoin Core V30.
Well, they do make the argument that data in inscriptions for technical reasons is broken up into 512 byte segments, and op returns are contiguous. So you could have contiguous data in an op return instead of having to break it up into segments. I think that this is a totally specious argument. What does that mean? That if you have a bunch of child porn on your laptop, as long as you break it into 512 bytes,
you make it really blurry.
You make it really
it's
blurry.
Like really low res.
It's still like it's legal. Like no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the data is already like there's some degree of like obfuscation in the sense that it's like in a transaction, and Bitcoin won't show you that data, right?
Yeah.
So they sort of like kind of conflate the two. You know?
I think in general, it's very, you know, this is actually, I'm now thinking maybe I wouldn't be pleb slop in another life. It's very hard to get me riled up about
you
these
can't
kind of
use
things.
moral arguments to rile you up. It doesn't work.
It does not work for me.
No.
I'm not.
In fact, you hate it.
It makes me question you.
Yeah.
Because I'm just it's very hard for me. There's no issue that I really get like inflamed, like we got to do something about this, you know?
But these things really work for people. I was watching the Squid Games reality TV show.
Which, the Mr. Beast one?
No. They actually made a Squid Games like reality TV that it's explicitly Squid Games like themed.
And they actually kill people.
Yeah. And they're all making like moral arguments like, oh, you did this, you did that, blah, 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 blah. That's the entire like content of what they're talking about. This person's shady, this person did X, this person did Y. So it's like these arguments really work on people, unfortunately.
But that's what happened in Beast Games too, right? What do you mean specific? Like when they say moral argument? Like sorry everyone if you haven't seen Beast Games or you haven't seen Squid Games in real life, but in Beast Games, that was what annoyed me about this.
In Beast Games,
they do
that too.
Well, I thought we were going to split the money, and it's like, guys, everyone's
like,
here to win the money.
I'm mad at you for pursuing the correct strategy.
I'm mad at you for following your incentives.
Yeah.
This is the whole point of Bitcoin. This is the whole point of Beast Games.
Yep.
You know, this is like why would you not do that?
Yep.
Good luck to them, though.
Good luck to them, yeah. I look forward to seeing what happens. I mean, I guess we're going to get a new version of BIP-444 that activates maybe at the same time, maybe later, that exempts pre-existing coins from these rules. I also think you don't want this kind of like we haven't talked about the fact that BIP-444, it only lasts for a year. I don't think you want to.
Did you steal the 1 year to slow the spread thing? That's really good.
I think somebody else said that.
1 year to slow the spread is really funny.
1 year to flatten the spam curve.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to create these like coordination points where like people have to get together to make a decision every year on whether they're going to keep the soft fork going or not. Like I think that kind of coordination is bad. You don't want to like, you want miners to be just plugging in their toaster and running the latest version of core. You know, you don't want them having to be like political actors being like, okay, do we have to devote like energy to like figuring out what to do?
We need a council of miners to decide on what the auspicious block height would be that would please the Chinese.
Yep.
We already had block 8888.
We did. Yeah, big missed opportunity.
Yeah, the next big one, we haven't had 999 whatever.
That's going to be 99999.
Yeah.
99999
that's
is really
cool because then but that goes to the next.
It's immediately overshadowed by the
one.
Yeah, by the 100 million or 1 billion or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be block 1 million.
Block 1 million.
Yeah, block 1 million. That's pretty.
Block 1,111,111.
That's going to be a big one.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, but then we're going to have to wait so fucking long for the next angel number.
Well, it's always 11111 blocks away.
That's true.
Yeah.
But then that's like 16 years of Bitcoin or whatever. So 17 years of Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, right. It's like 1 million.
Bitcoin does teach you to be the long-term.
That's right. Horizon, long tail. You got to wait for those angel numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else we should talk about on this?
I mean, we got some other, the Swifties were mad.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say to the Swifties that were angry about my Taylor Swift take last episode, which there were a couple that were very upset. I'm right.
Yeah,
I'm right. Look at the streaming numbers. Look at the reviews. Are you personally streaming this album more than Folklore, more than Evermore?
No, they're going
Red?
back to our old hits.
You're going back to the old hits.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know anything about this, but I'm just agreeing.
You're
with
just
you.
locking in.
Yeah, I'm locking in.
You're on the right side of history. This is
That's
your
right.
pleb slot.
That's right. Yeah.
If I was like a virulent Swiftie, you would have ended up on the wrong side of history.
You're right. She is, an elder of Zion or something.
Yeah, she's our modern day Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stand by what I said about Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So take that.
Seethe. Cope. Okay.
Have a sense of humor. Actually, that's really my main lesson in all this. Have a sense of humor. It's not that serious. And even when it is, the correct response is to have a sense of humor.
Absolutely.
We are the only, animals don't make jokes, right? Like,
not that we know of.
Maybe monkeys do. Or
yeah,
let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments if there's any chimpanzees in the comments.
Yeah, are there any?
Mash that keyboard. That you've been given by the resources.
Yeah, judging by the responses we get.
Yep.
Yeah, like humor is what separates us from animals. It's a part of our higher consciousness,
among other things.
Well, but being able to have being able to make a joke is pretty high levels of consciousness, I think.
It depends on the joke.
It depends on the joke, but to be able to laugh at something, like I think about this sometimes when I look at my cat. Like my cat can't laugh.
Yeah,
like that's so sad.
Yeah,
like she can't giggle. She can't like chuckle at something.
That's true. She can purr, which I bet feels great.
That's the thing they get that we don't get. But yeah, our ability to laugh at ourselves, to laugh at others,
to laugh at mechanic.
Mechanic should laugh at mechanic should unblock us.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna reply. Okay, I won't engage with you. Maybe, but you shouldn't preemptively block me.
Yeah,
that's not fair. And you shouldn't unblock just to comment on how money.
Yeah, that's a bitch.
And then reblock.
You got to leave the floodgates open for at least a week after you unblock.
At least a sec.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually the main message. Mechanic, unblock us. Come on, How Money Podcast.
Come on, How Money Podcast.
We invite Luke. We invite Mechanic. Did we invite Michael Saylor?
We invite Michael Saylor.
Yeah. Any of these guys, if they want to come on, they want to have a conversation.
Yep.
A couple giggles. Actually, after the soft fork fails, and if they feel like they need a little reinvention into the culture to become sort of like a Martin Shkreli style figure, come on to How Money Podcast.
Right.
We can
Redemption
do some
arc.
fun costumes.
Yeah.
Redemption arc.
Yep.
I think that's the way to rehabilitate.
We can all dress up as mechanics.
Yeah. Or we can dress up. I would prefer to do Catholic set of a Cantus cosplay.
Oh, yeah, like
personally.
maybe the Pope holding an aborted fetus or something, that kind of vibe.
Yeah, what would the Antichrist look like?
Beautiful. I think it just looks like the Pope, doing the non-Latin mass.
We could all dress up as our personal Antichrist. Like someone could be Mr. Beast, someone could be Peter Thiel.
Okay, yeah.
Like we could all do that. I think that could really heal the culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it could rehabilitate their image. So get back to us after February or whenever that block is, and we're happy to have you on. We're happy to
absolutely the recap.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we got it.
Yeah, I think we got it. Thanks everybody for joining us. And
good luck out there.
Let's hope that we have a less eventful next couple of weeks. But if we do have events occurring, you'll be able to come here to discuss it with us on the How Money podcast.
Yeah, where else are you gonna go?
Yeah, come on.
All right,
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Only so many hours in a day. Hey.